And almost every single time, someone's like, why are we spending our time on this? Why does this matter? I almost never meet a CEO for the first time who's always like, man, things are great. Seriously, like in my work, that doesn't really happen. Like most of the time, like they just feel tired. Like they're just stuck. They're constantly doing math in their head and like solving problems, like putting out other people's fires. Like they're having to deal with like payroll stress. Like, are they hitting the revenue targets? They're always questioning, do they have the right people? Who needs to go? Do we need to give them another chance? Like who do we promote? Who's carrying the weight? Who do they like? Who isn't? They're thinking this all the time. And the thing they don't always say, but they almost all have in common is this sense that like the business is just heavy. Like their mind just can't turn off. Like even if they went out of town or went to spend a week on the beach, like they can't power down. It's just, there's no peace. And so by the time a CEO or a founder does reach out to me, it's usually because they hit this point of like, I can't keep doing this anymore. Sometimes, like in the worst of cases, it's because the business is in trouble. Sometimes like their health is in trouble. Sometimes it's their marriage that's on the rocks. Sometimes it's all of it, unfortunately. It is really crazy to me how common that starting point is among CEOs and founders. Actually, I kicked off a client just the other day, and the first conversation with them was exactly that. They literally told me that they felt stuck, but they were tired, like they couldn't take a vacation, and they just felt like they were shouldering all the stress. And so when we met together, the first meeting, as we always do, it's a full day. It's an 8-hour day with them and their leadership team. And there's structure, there's a framework, but it's also a lot of time where some of these conversations can ever happen in a room, like with other people listening. So as a team, like we start dreaming about the future, we start aligning and where the business actually needs to go. But then there's always one part of the day that people go in like, why are we doing this? And that's the part of the day where we focus on relationships, like the humans, the people. And almost every single time, someone's like, why are we spending our time on this? Why does this matter? And look, 100%, it's totally a fair question. There's a huge documented business case for this, so I'm not going to spend this video for. But every single time, without exception, at the end of the day, that's the part in the session that everyone points back to. That's the part where everyone feels like that was the coolest moment, because that is where something starts to shift, not just with the CEOs, but also with the team. The owner, they finally stop feeling like they're the only one who cares. They realize that they're not actually alone. And the team, they all start seeing the same problems, and they can talk about the future the same way. And they start talking about what it means to own the same outcomes. And without fail, the people present feel heard, they feel involved, and they feel invested. And the weight that used to sit on one person's shoulders finally gets spread across the team. So yes, I love seeing my clients grow. I like seeing them hit record revenues. I like seeing them launch new divisions or new products, new services. I like seeing them have the best pay in the markets because they finally can, or providing some insane benefits. Like that stuff, super, super cool, never gets old. But the thing that really sticks with me is watching a founder or a CEO finally realize, I don't have to carry this by myself anymore. Because honestly, when that happens, something starts to change, because they can stop grinding this 90 or 100 hours a week, and they start actually focusing on what matters most. And they start to enjoy the people they're building with again. And honestly, like that is the coolest part about what I get to do. So if you are a CEO and the business feels heavier than it should, it doesn't necessarily mean you're failing, but it does mean you've probably been carrying that load for far too long by yourself, and there's a better path.